Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. That is me, Kyle Bridgely, in the house on this Thursday. Welcome into Fan Talk. If you're new here, first time, hello, take a seat. Listen up. Fan Talk is a podcast by the fans for the fans. We talk everything sports from the fans' perspective. It's a great time here at the Fan Talk Podcast. It's a podcast you can find anywhere you get your podcast. If you're listening or if you're watching, I am everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, Fan Talk is there. Thank you for tuning in today. We got the sign, we got the Rogue One posters, we got the Phantom of the Opera poster. It's been a year since Andor Season 2 came out. And I just watched Maul Shadowlord, the new Star Wars show on Disney+. And May the 4th just happened earlier this week. One of the best non-traditional holidays that there is. May is a fantastic time of year, and I'm so glad you guys are joining here on Fan Talk today. We have a lot to talk about. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, that and so much more here on Fan Talk. Let's start with the NBA. Now we're into the conference semifinals. We're past the first round, and it was actually a pretty fun first round for the most part, especially in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference, 3 out of the 4 series went to Game 7s, and Game 7s are always awesome, and all the Game 7s were awesome, and a fantastic series throughout the board. Pistons, Cavaliers, Knicks, 76ers. Those are the 4 teams left in the East. In the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Lakers, Timberwolves, and Spurs are the last 4 standing. If I were to say right now, right here, Thursday, May 7th, 2026, who's going to win the NBA Finals out of these 8 remaining teams, I would have to say that from the Western Conference, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to make their way to the NBA Finals. Who is going to stop this team? The Lakers? I don't think the Lakers will be able to without Luka. No Luka Doncic, this team doesn't have a chance. LeBron at 40 years old is amazing, and he's doing all that he can. But this Thunder team is just too good. They're too well-rounded. They're too deep. And I think playoff teams that go all the way are deep teams, right? And this Thunder team is as deep as it gets. Though I will say that there is a foe in the Western Conference who could stop the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's the only team who I think can actually beat the Oklahoma City Thunder of these 8 remaining teams, and that is the San Antonio Spurs. During the regular season, the Spurs and the Thunder played 5 times. They played 4 regular season games and then once in the NBA play-in tournament, or excuse me, not the NBA play-in tournament, and once in the NBA Cup that they do at the beginning of the year. And of those 5 games, the Spurs won 4 and lost 1. They went 4-1 in those games against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Probably the only team in the NBA that has a winning record against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm sure maybe there's some other ones, but to play 5 games and to win 4 of them, that's a serious win right there, honestly. And I think the San Antonio Spurs are the only team that can stop the Oklahoma City Thunder. And similar thing, they're a team that has a lot of good players. They go deep. They have a lot of guys that can step up. But most importantly, they have Victor Wembanyama, who is not from this planet. If you don't know who Victor Wembanyama is, look him up. He is taller than any other person that you'll ever meet, you'll ever know. His wingspan is longer than the Mississippi River. The guy he's not just a center who can, post up and play down in the paint. He can shoot, he can drive, he can dunk, he can play defense. He is the definition of an all-around player. Victor Wembanyama for the San Antonio Spurs is like the Lisab Al-Gib from Dune, Timothy Chalamet's character in Dune. He's like the prophesied savior that has come to San Antonio to bring them back to relevancy, and nobody can stop him. He's like Darth Vader. Nobody can stop him. Nobody can stop Darth Vader. He's just too OP. Victor Wembanyama's too OP. He's their only shot. You're my only hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? You're my only hope, Victor Wembanyama. I think he's the only one. The Spurs are the only team with a healthy Victor Wembanyama that can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Otherwise, I think the Thunder go all the way to the NBA Finals and face off against the Eastern Conference champion, who I think right now, it's looking like the New York Knicks. Now, the Pistons have played a lot of good games. They came back down 3-1 against the Magic. Cade Cunningham stepped up in each of those games. They looked very good against the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night, game 2 tonight, of course. But I just think the Pistons, they don't have a lot of playoff experience. That playoff series win against the Orlando Magic was the first playoff series win since 2006. It's been 20 years. So I think eventually lack of experience will come back to bite them. I think the New York Knicks are just a better team. They have better players, I think. I think Jalen Brunson is phenomenal, of course. You have the supporting cast of Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns has his moments. Even Mikal Bridges. You go into that bench, and they have some solid bench players too. I just think the Knicks are that Eastern Conference is theirs to lose, in my opinion. I'm thinking Pistons, Knicks for the Eastern Conference Finals. Perhaps the Cavaliers could shock a few people, but the Sixers, without a healthy Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey can only do so much. 36-year-old Paul George can only do so much. I think it's going to be Knicks, Thunder in the NBA Finals, with probably the Thunder winning it all. Again, if the Spurs can beat the Thunder, then that would make for a very interesting NBA Finals, Spurs and Knicks. If not, I think we are going to get the orange and blue OKC Thunder, New York Knicks in the finals with OKC winning it all. Let me know what you guys think down below if you disagree with this take. I think a lot of people are thinking OKC Thunder at this point. Until proven otherwise, for all intents and purposes, OKC is the best team out there and has the best odds to win the NBA Finals. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Who you think's going to win, who you're rooting for, who you're hoping to see, whatever you want to say down in the comment section down below. And if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a like if you like what you're hearing. Subscribe if you're a fellow fan of sports and like to hear the fans' perspective. I appreciate it. Let's shift our focus now to NHL, National Hockey League, Stanley Cup playoffs. This morning, I was rewatching the highlights from the gold medal game in the Olympics between the United States and Canada, just because I really wanted to be motivated. And there's nothing more motivating than your country or whatever group you're a part of overcoming the odds, slaying the giant, and winning. The U.S. hadn't won that gold medal since 1980. That was the year of the Miracle on Ice. It had been, 46 years? I wasn't around in 1980. You weren't around in 1980. And they finally did it. And so I was rewatching that, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I am so hyped. The Stanley Cup playoffs have been so hyped. I live here in Utah, and the Utah Mammoth made the playoffs for the first time. I've done a few episodes on them. Unfortunately, they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights, but the craze for hockey was huge and is huge here in Utah. And I think it's going beyond Utah. I think it's expanding all over the United States. I think hockey is coming more into the highlight. I think a lot of people watch the NBA. A lot of people obviously watch NFL. But now the casual sports fan is diving into hockey, a realm that was maybe a little more niche. And it's been a phenomenal Stanley Cup playoffs. 8 teams left. Again, the first rounds have been completed. 8 teams left. Let's start in the Western Conference. Similar to the NBA, I think it's very clear who's coming out of the Western Conference, and that would be the Colorado Avalanche. They were the best team all year long. Throughout the regular season, they've played very well in the postseason. They actually haven't lost yet. They swept the Kings in 4. They're up 2-0 on the Wild. They're 6-0 in the postseason. Maybe the Wild still won back at home, but I think the Avalanche are going to take care of the Wild. They'll get past whoever comes out of Golden Knights and Ducks. I think both those teams are exciting, but I don't know if they have what it takes to beat the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche come through the Western Conference and find themselves in the Stanley Cup final. On the Eastern side, I have my answer, but I have my doubts. It should be the Carolina Hurricanes that go to the Stanley Cup final, but they are infamous for choking in the postseason. They've made the postseason, I believe, seven straight seasons, and every single season they do not go that far. They do not meet expectations. I think the last couple of years they were supposed to be very good, and they didn't make it that far. This year, they are looking very good. They are the 1 seed again. They were the best record in the Eastern Conference again. And they currently have a 2-0 series lead on the Philadelphia Flyers. So it is similar to the New York Knicks. It is their conference to lose. Now, the Sabres are a fun team. They're up 1-0 on the Canadiens. but they're a young team, right? They're like the Pistons. They're a young team. They're good. They're young, though. They haven't been there for quite some time. I have my doubts about the Sabres. I don't think the Canadiens are good enough to beat the Hurricanes, but who knows? Like I said, the Hurricanes are infamous chokers, and if they get past the Flyers, we could see the Sabres or the Canadiens going to the championship. And if that's the case, then I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche, regardless of who comes from the Eastern Conference. I think it's the Colorado Avalanche that will win the Stanley Cup final here in 2026. Let me know what you guys think down below about NHL hockey. Do you guys watch NHL hockey? Are you guys fans of NHL hockey? And for me personally, and I've said this before on the podcast, it's sometimes hard to watch the regular season of NHL hockey as well as NBA because college basketball is just so much more entertaining, right? And then when college basketball ends at the beginning of April, then NHL, NBA kind of takes up more of my time because the playoffs are coming in. It's just a lot more exciting than the regular season. But let me know what you guys think down below. Who's your favorite team? Who do you think's going to win it all? Who do you want to win it all? Comment that all down below in the comments if you're listening and or watching on YouTube. If you're listening and or watching on Spotify, please consider reviewing the show, leaving a review. I appreciate it. This is a podcast that I've been doing for 3.5 years. Almost 4 years now. I started this podcast in the fall of 2022, so we're coming up on 4 years. This is the 155th episode of Fan Talk. We had the 150th episode a couple episodes ago. I failed to mention it, but 155 episodes. I release content weekly. I do my best. This is not my full-time job. This is not my main source of income. This is simply a hobby, and I love talking sports. I do. And from the perspective of a fan, like no better way to hear what we're actually thinking and what we actually want to talk about. If you guys like what you hear, consider subscribing, consider reaching out and leaving a review on the show, telling your friends about it. I really do appreciate it. We're going to keep it short and sweet. Go watch some NBA, go watch some NHL, go enjoy the weather. At least where I'm at, the weather is really nice right now. I think May is perfect because it's not too hot and it's not too cold and the green leaves have started coming up. So it's a fantastic time. Get out and go watch some baseball. If you don't have a Major League Baseball team in your town, I'm sure you have a minor league team somewhere close. Go watch some baseball. I did that last week. It was fantastic. I'll leave you guys with this, and I'll see you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.